Shout out to US ARC and all US ARC members. If you don't know what US ARC is, don't be ashamed. Just go ahead and click the third link in the description below. See what US ARC is all about, okay? You never know when legislations are going to hit your backyard, so that's why it's very important to consider becoming a US ARC member today. These numbers really do matter, and they look at it for consideration when it comes to battling legislation. So first and foremost, thank you, Phil Goss. Thank you to anybody out there who partners up and volunteers with US ARC organization. Thank you for anyone out there who's a US ARC member. And if you can't become a US ARC member today, please talk about it on your platforms. Let your neighbors know, let all your pet stores know what US ARC is here for, and it's here to fight for our animal rights. Thank you to every US ARC member and US ARC supporter out there. True.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world, episode 674. The Moss Family, aka Moss Family Adventures, Stacy and Robert. You might be thinking to yourself, how? Wait a minute. Didn't an episode go down not too long ago? Exposure? How's this happening?
What's up?
How is this happening, dude?
It just seemed like the right thing to do, my friend.
Oh, it's definitely the right thing to do, and that's why it's going down. If it wasn't the right thing to do, I wouldn't be doing it. But I just thought it would be a funny intro to bring you in like that. So what's up,
Yeah,
Brandon? Listen, I'm happy you're here, buddy. How you living?
I'm doing great, man. Busy. I can tell you this week is insane. My wife is out of town, and I've had a touch of the single parent life for like 3 days now.
Gosh.
And I really miss my wife. Dude, I don't understand how people do this.
I want to give props to Dez recently having a second baby into the family, and Cash. Sorry, buddy. I know you had a long run being the only child, bro, but it's over now. And
he's a good brother. He's He's doing good.
I'm happy, man. I'm really congratulations first and foremost. I'm not too far from your experiences right now. I have my second one on the way, as you know, and so. But it's cool to see you there, and your daughter's beautiful, and I'm excited to see her grow with you guys.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Dude,
another little herper.
Yeah, listen. So tonight's guest, who I've actually, we gotta get that Doberman under control too tonight for sure.
2 seconds.
Listen, sound check goes. You know what's crazy about sound check? The dogs don't always go through the fucking door during sound checks, and I think Brandon should know dogs are very well heard on podcasts, especially when they're heavy breathing at your feet. So anyone who's listening now who could be potentially on MJ's show, keep your dogs secured. And I love Dobermans, but Brandon had to make it look bad right now. Thanks, Brandon. No, sorry, I didn't want that going on at all tonight. So thank you so much for doing that. I would talk about your carpets, but we can't because the dog fucked it up. So we're gonna get right into sponsorship tonight. And I want to say thank you so much, Brandon Wheeler, for being here. And I want to remind everyone who's tuned in tonight, Trap Talk Reptile Network is the only network that gives you a new episode every day of the week. That's right. Monday through Sunday. It does not stop here. New reptile content. So please go at it, man. Enjoy it. And also, just to remind you guys, if you're not more on the YouTube side of things, more on the audio side of things, you can listen to all these episodes on all major popular audio platforms. Okay. So go enjoy it. And also, if you're on those platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Buzzsprouts, Google Play, make sure you go rate, review, and subscribe to those platforms as well. It all helps the channel grow. And also, if this is your first time tapping in on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button, hit that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded of every single podcast release out of the network. Shout out to tonight's sponsor, one of them being one of my favorites in the reptile game. That's Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles, Abronia, geckos, tree monitors. The list goes on. This guy has it down, and he's really bringing true high-quality captive bred animals to the hobby. Go check him out on Instagram, SUNDOWN Reptiles, and also go to his website, Find all the links in the description below. And also, tonight's episode is brought to you by the Reptile Super Show happening in Anaheim, California. Make sure you go to the Reptile Super Show happening next month, September, I think it's the 13th and 14th. I always forget, man. Damn it. Let me make sure I say that right. So it is on the 13th and 14th. Yeah, I had it right. All right, so listen, shout out to Rami, shout out to the entire Reptile Super Show family and team. They throw the best show. It's the best time, and there's so many people that go up to this event, and thank you so much, Rami, for everything you do. Anaheim Reptile Super Show, again, happening September 13th and 14th. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Gary Scavino, GS Reptiles. Please type this in on YouTube if you want to learn about some of the rare, underworked boreal reptiles that we can keep and breed in this hobby. He lays it all down for all of us, man. So thank you so much, Gary, for everything that you do. True passion keeper right here. And make sure you follow him on Instagram as well. GS Reptiles on IG. And the last but not least, shout out to Focus Cube Habitats, the #1 PVC design enclosures in the game out of Texas. Stephen and Ashley, next level. Simple as that, man. If you want high quality enclosures, different designs from anyone else, this is your company right here to go check out. Focus Cube Habitats. Check them out on Instagram and find all the links in the description below. Brandon Wheeler, are you ready to rock and roll tonight? Do you want to hear from the real Robert Moss?
Let's do it, man. I'm excited. No, I'm glad that he came on. I really don't like the way that it went down last time.
Me neither.
It didn't really sit right with me. And, I had a couple hours to really spend talking to Robert, after that episode, and it turns out I like the guy.
Me too.
And, there was a lot that came up. Some was valid. A lot of it wasn't, man. And we got to separate. We got to separate the bullshit,
Yeah.
And, I just wanted to give him an opportunity to represent himself and, tell us about himself and just kind of get a little do-over. So here we are.
And, one thing I told him we have in common is like, dude, I've been in positions, as you know, Brandon, we've been friends for a long time now, but I've been in positions where I had everyone talking about what kind of person I was and all sorts of narratives. And mind you, 98.9% of these people never met me. They didn't know me. And I didn't really have anyone. What's crazy is like being the fucking coolest reptile network in the world. Nobody wanted to bring me on their show to like ask me questions. Like nobody wanted to give me an opportunity to be like, well, what's this all about, MJ? So, and I did it on my own show. So who gives a fuck? And it worked out. But to be able to help this guy out and his wife, who I did have conversations with over the phone, and it was a touching conversation because he is a fucking human being. And that episode we did with an individual just did not help this guy and didn't help anything in any way. It was kind of fucked up. And it did something to his life at that time. You know what I mean? But, dude, he's here now, and he's ready to rock and roll. So without further ado, I say we bring him on, and let's talk to these two. What do you say?
Let's go.
All right. Listen, you guys are in for a treat. You guys are really in for a treat because it gets real on the Trap Talk Reptile Network, especially on Thursday nights. But, guys, do me a favor out there. Do what you got to do to get your mind right, and do what you got to do to stay hydrated. This is episode 674, The Moss Family. Moss Family Adventures. Coming at you right now. Let's go. Choo!
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, God love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
And we're live, episode 674 with Stacy and Robert Moss. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good to be here.
Super
Can you hear us
excited.
well?
Good to have you. Yeah, we can hear you guys great. How do we sound? You hear me? You hear me and Brandon all right?
Silky smooth.
Yeah.
Silky smooth.
Perfect.
Well. Robert and Stacy Moss. Again, I want to say this publicly. I'm sorry. Only because, listen, Brandon Wheeler, I told you, is a good buddy of mine. And Brandon does not come to me with drama. But if he does have something he wants to address, and mind you, I don't think the carpet community gets enough love. They need carpet. I feel like carpets are underrated for sure to this day. So if something happens within that carpet community and Brandon is feeling some type of way, I think he gets a pass where I don't need to investigate it. It's fucking bring it on, bro. Let's schedule it. And so we did, and it went a lot more heavier than I thought, to the point where all the evidence I saw, I thought was enough for me to write you guys off. But it's not cool to not hear both sides, first and foremost. So I'm sorry I didn't get your guys' side. I'm sorry I wrote you guys off because it was Brandon Wheeler's fault. I'm just kidding. No.
I did invite him on the podcast, for the record.
Brandon bridged this to make this all right, because without Brandon, period, none of this, okay, would have never happened, but none of this would have got fixed either. So
Right.
For the record, guys, I wouldn't have come on that podcast either. I don't freaking blame you. The smartest thing that you could have done was completely and totally ignore that shit.
Yeah.
It was very difficult. It really was. Because I was like, wait, dude, you don't know me. Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
No.
Pretty jacked up. But listen, this is why you're here now, and this is why I want to get to know you guys. I want to know about the brand. I want to know, I guess, a mission statement of what it is that drives you. Because based off the conversation I had with you, Robert, you're a passionate, driven individual, dude. And just doing, not minimal research on your Instagram, I could see how much work you're putting in behind everything. I know you're just all gas, no brakes right now. So, and being someone who's like that as well. And Brandon, who loves and has the amount of animals that he has, also has a crazy career with his 9-to-5, which is more of a 12-hour thing that he does. So I get it, dude, but I want to hear it, man. Let's hear about the Moss family adventure story and what it's all about and the species you keep and everything that drives you in this.
Holy cow. Okay, so just leave it open there,
question.
huh? So I guess mission statement is to first and foremost, we're not exactly after the reptile community, which I think was part of y'all not knowing us before, because we weren't really trying to sell to anybody in the reptile community. Out of the average person, if you ask not you two, obviously, but any normal person, not that y'all are not normal, but you know what I mean, not reptile heads, how many people that own a snake? And the most that I've out of 100, and the most I've ever heard was 5 people out of 100. And it's okay, great. So we sat down, and I learned from a young, 10 years ago, whenever I first found carpets, I was like, oh, this is it. My first love was retics, but between us three, especially Brandon, do we know why retics didn't really sit too well with me 4 years later? Oh, I don't know, because they're huge, and because I was 17 and I had no business having a retic.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
But I saw personality and I saw intelligence in an animal whenever I had my little small retic that was just wanting to climb on me, that I fell in love. And then whenever I got my first carpets, the guy was like, oh, he sold me 2 of them. And to show you exactly where the carpet community was, as far as represented, he sold me 2 Jags, and he was like, yeah, this is going to be a great pair. I didn't know any better, but we're here to bridge that gap. But whenever I got these 2 carpets, he said, every time they shed, they get better. And I'm like, yeah, okay, look, they're pretty enough as they are, give them to me. And I was in the phase of Pokemon, got to catch them all.
Yeah, kind of work.
Truck could make it to the Craigslist ad, then I was going to pick it up. I had all kinds of stuff. They had a local breeder that did doomerals. I had all, if I could get it, I had it. And I got these these 2 carpets. And I was like, man.
What year was this, Robert?
Oh,
That was way before my time.
So this last December made 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 10 years of you actually keeping carpets and it being the foundation is now.
it slid. Whenever I realized it was like everything else I was blind to. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is right. Like there's a level of intelligence. They stay handleable. It's still a one-armed python. And I looked at my 12-foot retic and I'm like, dude, I like you, but I think I don't know, man. You poop a lot, and I could fit 2 carpets in your one place. Like I'm like, let's find you a good home and everything else. And I
well, so that's your origin story as to that's his origin story.
Not MFA, is it?
No, it's okay though. It's okay. That's his origin story as to how he got into carpets initially, like as a young man. And then as far as like Moss Family Adventure, we are just past 3 years. So like going into our 4th year, so I guess I was introduced to the reptile world when he and I got together, which was in 2016.
Okay.
And because my parents are not reptile people. So we had dogs, like, so I was new to it. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I thought it was so cool and different, so I was like, this is awesome. So I fell in love with carpets. And so we just had them as pets, for the first few years that we were together. And then we started he started bringing me to reptile shows, like as a date, like we're going on a date, we're going to the Reptile Expo.
Yeah, because 2016, even though it sounds a long time ago, or 2015, it's really not that like long, because that's kind of when social media was really starting to pick up and people were really starting to post. You were able to go look at other things online. Like things were like a lot more available, like visually, when it came to carpets, ball pythons. And I remember like 2016 is when I got into the hobby. And I remember going to reptile super shows, and Brandon, you might remember this, but there were so many more carpets there. Like, was it Psychotic Exotics?
That was when Psychotic Exotics was.
Dude,
was
that was one of my favorite tables ever, man, because I was just getting in, and I remember wanting to get into carpets, but then I got green tree pythons lying in my lap, but I still always drooled over the carpets, man. And that table, that was my favorite table at every reptile super show when they were there, man, the Psychotic Exotics. But I also just wanted to touch on like the whole Pokemon like mentality, because it's a real thing that you get into. Like, it's such a like world that once you're not in it and then you're in it, you realize like how fucking amazing it is. And then you see how easy it is to attain all this stuff. And then you always feel like you're always one-upping people because you're getting something rare or like whatever, but you just get into this like, oh my God, I need that species or whatever. And it makes it fun. It's kind of like what makes it a hobby, right? But what made you guys come together and say, I want to turn this into a business, which was only 3 years ago, right? So whose idea? And let's kind of talk about where things went from there.
So
No, go ahead. You got this one.
Okay. So before I was, purchasing like carpets, quite a few of them at a time. I would hold them back for a year, get them started, because as you might know, and if you don't, which definitely Brandon and but if anybody watching doesn't know, carpets start out pretty ugly, and you don't really know what they're going to look like as adults.
I never think they're ugly.
Okay.
They're always cute.
That's fair. They're not ugly. They're just
comparing from when they're out of the egg to where they are adulthood. It's like night and day. You're right.
It's definitely a caterpillar into a butterfly. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But some caterpillars are beautiful. Okay, I see your point. Okay, so anyway. So I'd hold on to them for about a year, and then I would just wholesale them to another guy who would then, sell them on his table. And sometimes he'd kick me back extra, sometimes not. Like whatever, I was winning because I was picking them up for lower cost. I was selling to him for a lower cost, and I was able to pay and keep like 1 or 2 animals, and they didn't cost me anything. And because I had put in a year to grow up these other animals, so they're worth more. And so I was like, okay, I like this. Well, then we kind of looked at each other, and I had been in sales for a while, and it's car sales. And yes, guys, I'm working on getting my soul back, one carpet sale at a time. But in selling cars, I connect, the connections are super deep and really fast. Like a lot of people nowadays, especially now, I'm sorry, I'm getting on a tangent.
You are going into, it's okay.
Anyway, like I crave connection with people. I tell people a lot, the only thing that I love more than carpets are people. So we go and we look at each other, and I'm like, I can't do car sales anymore. I can't be this intense relationship and then nothing. So I need to find a way to have these relations, because nobody needs a car guy whenever they already have a car. So I need deeper connection. I need deeper purpose in life. And I looked at her and I was like, you know, I'm kind of handy. Like there's a house next door to us. And we're like, dude, we did okay on stocks, you know, around whenever stocks went on sale around the 19th, you know, whatever. And so we'd been sitting on a nest egg and we're like, and we've always lived within our means. And I'm like, you know, let's buy that house. Let's fix it. I've got all the tools here. You know, we'll just do this. And then, but I want, if I do something, I think you had mentioned, MJ, like you're an intense guy. Yeah. Like if you're going to do it, we're going to do it. Yeah. So I was like, look, no distractions. We're going to be moving from home to home. I'm going to downsize my carpets. I'm going to get rid of everything except for just like one. And I built up a pretty good collection. And we go to, and I called my guy and I'm like, hey, I'm going to send them all to you. These are adults like you've never seen. Like these are nice. And he's like, it's in Houston. It was the first reptilian nation in Houston, the first one that they ever did. And I was like, I'll come. We sat them on the table and they were really low cost, like even within Brandon's terms or with anybody's terms, they were low cost. And they had this young lady who came up and she was working for another big store. And she was like, hey, my boss is about to come and make you an offer even lower. Can you do me a favor and just take these off the table and bring them home and just stick them in the same box? You will make so much more. It's worth it. And
she basically was like, you guys have some really nice animals. I don't think you realize what you have. I think that you should keep them and not sell them. And I think that you should breed them. And I think that you will be very successful if you do that. And I think that you have something really special. And we were like, okay, so we kind of just looked at each other and we were like, do we want to do real estate or do we want to do reptiles? Like as a business, like what, you know, do we want to go reptile business route? And then we were like,
we weighed all the pros and cons. Yeah. You know, we have young children. So we were like, you know, which one is going to equal us spending more time with them?
Kids. Yes.
You know, what can we raise them in? Because it's a huge part of kind of our dynamic.
That's why we called it Moss Family Adventure, was because we knew that it was going to be
family. It's a family thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew that it was going to be something that our kids would be growing up with and around and involved in with us. So we were like thinking long term, like if the kids grow up in it and take it over and then they want to turn it into something else as it evolves, you know, like they might not be niched into carpets, but they might, like Charlie loves turtles or, you know, whatever. Or if Aurora wants to create things that like art and sell it, like they can sort of take this and run with it in any direction and it can evolve. So it's an adventure. So we wanted it to be kind of open in that sense, that the kids are like very much involved as they grow up. So it's very family oriented. We want to like also, you know, show that other kids can be involved as well. Like there's this thing about like kids and snakes, you know, and when other families see our kids with the snakes, it's like, oh, okay, like this is you know, doable. It's not so scary. It's not like, this can be a great pet. And, you know, I think that that's really important for as like he was saying earlier, like reaching people that aren't necessarily already reptile people, but people that own like cats. It's like, we are after the cat owners of the United States. That is
the pet trade.
So yes. I mean, and the pet trade can be a very negative connotation.
No, but that's everything. It's half of what we do about like as much as the hobby is what it is, and breeders are the breeders. Dude, without the pet side of things, we can't survive. Like it's very important. And I don't know how many times Brandon has let go of some really some cool carpets to like maybe someone who just needed it as a pet. And I've been on that same end too. And I feel like that's so important. But for you guys to say, let's make this a business, obviously you need to have some sort of product, right? So are you guys producing everything that you're selling, or are you guys buying and reselling it? Like, how are you guys, what are you guys taking to the shows and all that? That's what I'm curious about.
Okay. So I love this question because now I get to actually tell you. So first and foremost, I never wanted to breed. That was never my like everybody's got their own thing.
Your like passion.
That's not my passion.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had a guy who's been in carpets for a very long time that I think that like I'd be, you know, on the next aisle to him, and he's a well-known guy in the carpet community. And he was like, look, Robert, if you don't breed, nobody's going to ever take you serious. Yeah. Like you need to actually do it. Yeah. So I was like, Oh, okay. Like
Cool. We'll do it.
I've got
It's sort of not wrong in a sense, but to the pet trade that doesn't matter. But like to people, like
yeah, and we wanted to not incite hate. You know, it's kind of a positive.
Well, it's also like, yes, absolutely. Like that's understandable. I see that there's value in that as well, especially if you could sell a pet to someone and then they might be interested in breeding or down the road get more into the hobby and then develop. So it is definitely a connection point. And I think a great point to have is like, yes, we have. So we started.
Oh yeah. So
no, carry on.
It's okay. It's okay. So I had, 6, 7, 8-year-old carpets that I've raised up from like little babies, little ugly worms. And so all I had to do was stick them in the same box. And I've listened to NPR. So I'm going to give a shout out to them because those guys, those episodes and listening to Brandon and other people on those episodes.
Those guys are the goats, man. Those guys are kind of the pioneers of everything that is happening now today. Like I give my show a bunch of props, but without those guys, man, like those guys are, those guys inspired me to do what I'm doing as far as make it.
They
Yeah,
definitely started like a legacy of podcasts.
Yeah, like a network. Or just because like one thing that inspired me by NPR is like having Justin Julander and like they had all these like other fucking heavy hitters going on and doing their own episodes. And I always thought like, dude, that's what I need to do, but I didn't really know who those people would be until 4 or 5 years later, and here we are. But yeah, man, sorry, I just want to say shout out to NPR, man. I just want to say, man, if those are my friends, I'd really hate it if they weren't my friends for whatever reason, man. Those are good friends to have, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One question real quick. So when and this was something I spouted off about on the last episode. I'm like, it doesn't count unless you breed. Forgot what I said, but it was dick. How many carpet clutches have you guys produced?
30 plus.
Yeah.
We're really bad at keeping record, but at least 30.
We started 3 years ago. So, right, because we've done 3 years in a row now, we've produced clutches. So we've had
the first year was 8 out of 10 girls went. So I thought that was pretty good odds. And then one girl did going. I just didn't know. She was really, really big. And she was an adult that I had gotten from somebody else. And she retained. And I had no idea. I've talked to people about how that all went down. But so that doesn't count. But she was gravid. So 9 out of 10. But actually on the ground, 8 out of 10. Which was pretty good, I think. Yeah. But, it is what it is. The second year, I think we had like 13, 14 clutches of carpets.
Yeah, that sounds
right.
Not
Not counting the Antaresia.
No, we had Antaresia too.
How many this year? 12?
I know that we had like 96 babies.
Yeah.
Because it was
really good.
Because I remember labeling the numbers 1 through 96. So
yeah. And that's with us downsizing. So with that, oh man, dude, I cannot wait to tell you about what we've come up with. And
well, don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
yes. So what I was doing was I was reaching out to, and you know what? I was reaching out to the people that were on NPR. I was like, if these guys are being, they're good enough to be on this, then I want to know them. I want to do business with them. So as soon as I'd finished listening to the episode, I would be like, how can I find this guy's business? Hey man, do you want to just sell me, I don't know, everything? Is that okay? And so
I really did do that. You went through and you bought snakes from fucking everyone. Literally everyone.
If they were on NPR, they were on my list. And
yeah, you bought snakes. You've probably bought snakes from like 20 people that I know, that I can think of. So like, I mean, you were serious, dude. You went through and you cleaned up every single carpet python that you could buy, dude. You did it, and you collected from really all the right people. So I mean, that's how it's done.
I will say he was very selective about who he purchased from. So he was like,
yeah, I have been burnt, and people sent me stuff that they did not, was not listed. Like, nah.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. It's kind of what we like. Okay, when you're out there shopping, you're gonna get burned somehow, some way, because not everyone's honest. It's like, I don't know what the percentage is, man. Normally people are pretty good about that because of social media and they don't want to get burned, but other people just don't give a fuck. But for the most part, you are going to meet someone who will take care of you, especially if they've been around for a while, but you never know either, man. I'll tell you that much. I was going to bring something up, but now my mind went left. But Brandon, did you want to? Oh, okay. But hold on. what I wanted to say though is like, from what I understand and from what Brandon told me is you definitely bought some snakes from some people who know what snakes they sold you. Like they paid attention to that, right? So Brandon, what do you want to mention as far as like stuff that is the way that is labeled over at this company, right? Because there's certain lines with certain of these carpets that I know you want to discuss.
Yeah, we can get into it. So I want to talk about Bengal, and we're gonna get there. Before we do, I just kind of want to go through some of the rants that I had before, and I want to, we want to sort it out. You know what I mean? We want to sort it out.
Open book.
There's one thing that I will say about you, dude. You absorb stuff, and like you learn and you redirect, and like you will take something and be like, huh, okay, cool, I can change this, and like I can do this. Okay, like, dude, I've watched you do it in real time on the fly a lot over the last, couple of months. And like, I know there was a couple of situations that popped up to where, I'm from Camp Purist and you're from Camp whatever. It's a carpet python, right? And they're for both camps.
I can help in both camps. I can, even though Nick does not believe that. And I just got off the phone with him today. Again, I'm like, Nick, we're not going to see eye to eye. I respect you. I understand that you don't respect me. I get it. But you answer the phone and we talk. Look, I've got a foot in each camp. And you know what? If I'm going after the public, they need to know about pure stuff and they need to know about crosses. So go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. So one of the concerns, because, my inbox has been packed full for ever since we posted the story. The last 72 hours have been busy. And one of the concerns from the community is obviously honest representation. And that's been something that's, dear to me for a really long time. And I know there were some different circumstances that have definitely happened. And I want to know kind of how you've pivoted since then and kind of what you've done differently. Okay. Like, for instance, I know for sure there was a Gamma sibling that had been sold as a jungle carpet where, and it looked exactly like a jungle carpet. And I could look at this snake and I would tell you that's a jungle carpet. It's one of those things to where, like, to the naked eye, you'd have no idea that there was diamond and coastal also in that snake. For those of the uninitiated, Gamma line is a diamond jungle jack, which is beautiful. And then any of the offspring of Gamma have been considered, Gamma line stuff. So the same jacks, but they're diamond jungle coastal crosses is what they are. And there was somebody who had thought they had got a pure jungle carpet from you, but it turned out that it was a Gamma sibling produced by somebody else. And they just didn't know. They weren't informed. You know what I mean? And I don't think it mattered because they would have totally bought the snake anyway. They just didn't know any better. And, there was a situation that I had brought up with, the diamond situation where you had written diamond X on the cup, but it didn't matter. The person that bought it, didn't know. They thought they were getting a pure diamond. Really was a high percentage diamond cross where you can't freaking tell. I know that kind of went a certain way. And I feel like you've probably bobbed and weaved a little bit since then and maybe learned a thing or two, probably not doing things quite the same anymore. I just want you to talk about that.
No, sure. I know of one of those situations and I've sent proof, and then I was told by the person who brought that up and brought that to light, that, oh, you edited, and I'm like, I can't. If I'm sending you screenshots and you're telling me that I'm editing the screenshots, it's like you just want me to be a liar, and that's okay. I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I wish you the best, but this isn't we had a very good relationship, this person and I, and whenever she asked, hey, I need another diamond, I was like, hey, just to remind you again. She's like, oh yeah, no, that's okay. And I was like, you paid a premium.
Wait a second. That chick came back and tried to buy another one from you?
Yeah, that was the whole like purpose. And I'm like, and no, she was, but listen, you say chick, like this is like a middle-aged woman, wonderful lady. Like,
oh, I just can't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just can't believe that.
We were friends for like 2 years, dude. And then this other dude who is going to be unnamed got a hold of her, and just everything changed. And it's like you're bonding over like I don't understand what's going on here. Like I did understand why, and I've learned why those things were coming from him, but you know, I don't want to get into that.
Wait,
No. I'm just impressed that you
Brandon,
were able to bring it back.
Brandon, why don't you elaborate why you're laughing so hard? What is it that makes you laugh so hard about that?
Well, I mean, for somebody to make such a big stink about it to where I have no idea who this person is, but it ends up in my inbox only to find out that Moss is a cool guy, man. And you were able to somehow bring that back and reverse it around to a point where they still want to buy another snake from you again. That's great. I love that. I love that so much.
Because it was a conversation that was had. So that animal was sold. I remember because it's not every day that you sell a diamond cross for $2,600. So I'm at the NARBC in Arlington, the last one that they had in Arlington, because they moved to Dallas. That venue got turned into an art display or something like that. Anyway, and I go around the show, and I'm the only person with anything with diamond blood in it. So I look at her and I'm like, hey, I don't want to sell this thing anyway. And I've only got one female because I was planning on holding them all back. And I was like, I had 1,600 put on it whenever I got there on Friday. I erased the one and I didn't even erase it. I changed it to a 2. And I'm like, it shouldn't sell. We should be able to come home with her. I'll be damned if I'm not selling 2 other people's snakes. And this person walks up and she's like, hey, do you take card? And I'm like, yes, but one moment, please. And so like, she touched that one and I'm like, hurry up and finish this one. Hey, babe, can you get them set up with their enclosure? Like, let's take care of them. And I'm like, the first thing, she's like, is that a diamond? And I said, does it look like a diamond? And that's why I put diamond cross on it. Diamond with an X and not cross, diamond with an X. And she said, yes. And I said, exactly. It's an outcrossed diamond. It is a diamond that is a diamond jungle. It is 75%. It's a high percentage. It is not a diamond. It is a diamond cross. So I enjoy these because you can breed them during the winter. You don't have to worry about spring breeding. You don't have to worry about temperature drops. So I like this because you get a diamond without the diamond special care. And
so I guess what I want to kind of circle back around to though is like when you're representing stuff like, or do you make sure that people know when they're buying an animal that's pure versus not pure? Like, are you making damn sure that nobody thinks they're getting a jungle carpet if there's a possibility there may be some coastal blood in there?
So I guess I know that whenever we first started, I would put jungle type. I did not come up with jungle type.
I'm not mad at jungle type. Cats does it. Cats came up with it. That's Steven's thing. And I'm not mad about that. And you know what I mean? That's fine. It's just, it's different. Like with the gamma situation, it's different if you know. There is absolutely no shame in saying I have an unknown background. I do not know. This is what I purchased it as. This is what I think it is. I don't have the background. It's unknown. That is
even if you
different.
Like, I'm pretty damn sure that these things are pure diamonds, Brandon.
Yeah, I know. I'm
sure they're diamonds, but do I have lineage, Brandon? Nope. But they look like diamonds. They smell like diamonds. They act like diamonds. But it's undocumented diamonds, right?
Oh, for my shit? Yeah. Mine are undocumented. I have a really good background story for it, though. And every single person that's bought a diamond from me knows that backstory.
Perfect. We're on the same
page.
Page.
It was in the ad.
Yeah. We're on the same page. We're on the same page.
And not only that, it's in writing, in a message to every single one of them. So that's my thing is I make 100%. There's no fucking questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're dealing with human beings and things can get mixed up no matter how hard you try, man.
Well, they will. And it's happened to me before. And because, I've bred mixed species. I've done caramel jags, caramel zebra jags. I've done all that shit. And dude, we evolved. I learned too. I've learned. I've evolved. One day you will too.
I like my crosses.
But and all I care about is how it's represented. What you breed and how you breed it is nothing to me at all, dude. But like, if there's a chance that you know, if it's like unknown, okay, cool, it's unknown. But if it's like for sure a cross, but it's like really high percent, it's just people got to know about it. That's my only thing.
Agreed.
Well, we stopped putting just the X, and now we fully write out cross, just so there's no.
Yeah, no, we
confusion.
literally put high percentage diamond cross. Jungle cross, diamond, like literally, and it's like it takes up this much of the printing table, and I'm like, I could do this with nothing, but we're gonna be which is good. That was a positive that came back from y'all, and we appreciate that.
Maybe the X was confusing, so we'll just write out the word cross, and if it's undocumented, we write undocumented.
But as far as misrepresentation. Yes, thank you. At Daytona this weekend, there was a table that had bread lies that were het hypo. Brandon.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? And you know how many
those guys don't make it on Trap Talk. You know, you are being elevated to somebody in the community that people are going to be able to look to. You want to be the carpet python guy, right? Like that needs to be your shit at the show. You need to be, you know, the man with the carpet pythons when you're doing what you're doing. And when you're putting yourself in a position like where you are, it comes with a certain set of responsibilities that whoever the fuck didn't know any better that put het hypo, blah, blah, blah. We're not worried about those people. You know, but once you hit a certain level of notoriety, you know better than that.
So I had a guy, every other show, there's somebody that comes up to me and they're like, hey, would you mind coming to look at the animals on my table? Like I bought out a collection and I'm not sure. And I was like, okay, let's go look. And then I see that he's got like pure jungle jag. And I'm like,
It'll happen at every show. It's a big problem, dude.
But that's what, it's not a problem. It's an sorry. I look at like opportunities, right? It's an opportunity to help.
Yeah, to learn.
So that's just it. We don't have problems at MFA. We have opportunities, opportunities to grow, opportunities to share our light. And that's what this is. The last podcast wasn't a problem. It was an opportunity for us to have this one.
Yeah, and
there are a couple things I really want to give you your flowers on. I don't know that there's anyone that's currently doing a better job bringing kids into carpet pythons than you guys are.
Thank you.
Aww.
That's so big to me, man. And I'm an emotional dude, so let's just breeze over this, please.
Like it's true. I mean, I don't see anybody marketing to kids quite like you guys are, and the you know, kind of the way that you're doing it. And look, I gave you guys, you know, a lot of crap or whatever on the last episode, but like, you know, I'm a breeder. I do not understand. First, let me ask, at this point, do you consider yourselves more reptile breeders or like reptile brokers?
I guess art broker would be a good, but I'm breeding too. So I wish.
I love that, dude. That's a great answer.
Okay.
I know you're not really breeding anymore. And
who said that?
We'll talk about
you
it.
did.
Oh no, I said I don't want to anymore.
Finish his thought.
But on our way to Daytona, we have eggs right there waiting to hatch from bread lie.
We do still, but let him finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hold on, no, let's get back to the bread lie. What are they?
So it's actually a pair of 15-year-old bread lies that are the parents to a certain guy's bread lies. So anyway, yeah, it's an old pair, but we have a bunch. We have 28, 24 bread lie adults.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're my favorite.
They are her favorite. And if your wife's favorite snake, you load up.
That's a keeper for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys so you're not getting rid of all your adults.
So they are on their way to our curators. Our one curator, we've already sent all the adult enclosures over that we were planning to move them over to. So to go to bigger enclosures, which thanks Dubia/Morph Market. Appreciate you guys. Those enclosures are pretty cool. As far as for economical uses. And really, whenever you seal them up. Anyway,
carry on.
So they came and picked up. We do an MFA twice a year. It's an MFA reunion. So we invite everybody over that's purchased from us to come. We get the biggest possible water slide for the kids. dude, it's 27 foot
was
tall
fun.
and 65 foot long. That thing was fun. So
Pretty cool, man.
we cook boudin, which if you don't know what that is, it's a Southern food, and sausage. And then during the winter, for Christmas break, I cook a big giant gumbo, and we feed everybody. And so anyway, going back. So the spring breeders are going to a curator who happens to be a veterinarian, because I was not going to sell adults to just anybody.
Well, I will interject just to say that both of the 2 curators who are taking the adults are veterinarians. So they're
who just so happen to purchase carpets.
Yeah, so there's 2 different vets who are going to take the adults and set them up at their facilities just to curate and breed them for us.
So one of them's breeding a building currently.
Building a building. Yeah.
A 16 foot by 40 foot, which should be done in about 2 or 3 weeks. So that'll house the majority or all of the winter breeders. Now, Stacy and I got together and we're like, okay, like obviously there's some animals that are just our pets, like that we just can't see go. So her list.
My list was longer than Robert's list. He was like, Stacey, I need you to make a list of all the snakes that you just like cannot get rid of, that you have to keep. And my list is like 22 snakes. And he's like, okay, we're going to have to make some cuts.
Because what we want to do for those animals is we plan on doing like truly giant enclosures.
Big enclosures. Yeah.
So like 13 foot by 8 foot by 7 foot. Imagine a Focus Cube. It's not going to be made by Focus Cube, but shout out to Focus Cube. You guys make amazing enclosures. Yeah, awesome. But we have a curator of ours that also owns a sign business. So he has a 5 foot by 10 foot table, to like routing table. And he's like, I can do that. And I was like, okay, can you do it in 13 by 8 by 7? And he's like, let's do it. He's like, I'm excited. I can build a box that sits 150 feet in the air. Why not? Mm-hmm. So we've got that going. We want to have like a walk-in bioactive. Cool. I know it's going to be difficult. I get that, but that it's going to be a work in progress. And we're going to do some outdoor enclosures. Thanks for the inspiration, Brandon. In Louisiana should be pretty easy.
So all of our adults, with the exception of the ones that we're keeping as personal pets and things, those will be going to the vets and curators to breed them, to continue to breed them.
Yeah. Break down your curator program for us real quick. Like what's, and then one thing I'll say before you talk for 30 minutes is
fair.
You know, I hated on this, but at the same time, it's kind of genius. And you know, you guys are putting a roof over your head doing carpet pythons only right now, right? There's nobody else selling, like that's all that you're selling right now.
Yeah, carpet pythons are.
There's not a single other person in the United States only selling carpet pythons. Well, I guess Antaresia. You got Nick Mutton, but Mutton still has a lot of other species too.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude, it's really impressive that you're able to do that. Is all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Because nobody else is diving in that hard to be able to do it with just carpet pythons. But I guess, yeah, I'll hop into the curator program. What are you guys doing?
So, first off, we're not going to sell all of our adults. We were going to continue to breed our own and then have smaller curators until we made a partnership with Star Python. So then I'm like, okay, no matter what happens with our curators, we can always still get good quality animals. So anyway, back to the curator. So what I try to do is think years ahead of what the actions that we do now, how that manifests and evolves in 5-10 years. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I take from other business, I take from other reptile breeders, and I learn and I observe. And what I observed was a lot of people. And I don't want anybody to think I'm a ball basher. I'm really not. I think that ball pythons, I'm so thankful for them, because if it wasn't for them, the money would not be in reptiles, the education, the outreach, that brought a lot of people to it. But I'm going to say this, I do, and this is going to be, here you go. You can just take this as a little clip, and then, you know, everybody can hate me for it or not. But I don't feel, in my personal experience in this reality, in this world, my opinion is that ball pythons do not make the best first pet snake. Okay. I need to get back to the Curator thing, but I just wanted to say that the reason is because they're famously picky eaters, and you need to have your humidity parameters on check, or they're not going to shed.
I agree.
So 2 reasons alone, if we just isolate those 2 reasons, those are not really opinions. I mean, that's the experience of a lot of people. So anyway, I'll get off that. And I feel that carpets don't have either of those issues. So anyway, going back, curators. So I'm looking at the ball python market, and I'm like, man, how are these guys selling these animals? And what do you hear time and time again? If you breed this one to this one, then in 3 years, the babies will be worth this much. And I'm like, whoa, man, if these are stock, like these are your stock, your breeding stock, right? Like in their livestock, if you have a legitimate business in the United States, you have to file with the IRS as a livestock, right? So if you can tell me what the stock of those animals are worth in 3 years, can I introduce you to the stock market so that you can tell me what these stocks are worth in 3 years, and we can just skip the eggs, like, because we could do a lot better. So anyway, I'm hearing all this and I'm like, man, you're standing up a lot of people who are going to eventually be right beside you selling the animals and trying to sell them for what you said that they could. And then whenever that doesn't work, that what happens? It's a race to the bottom. It's how many people don't price their animals before they get to the show. They literally wait to price their animals until they can walk around and see what other people, and they're like, $50 cheaper. It's like, so I didn't want that to happen with carpets the best way that I could mitigate it. And I see that there's people who would walk up and they're like, man, I have a passion for this. I want to have the full life experience. I want to see what it's like to breed them, but I don't really want to sell them. And it was actually one person who had bought a lot from us. I mean, like a lot. And I was like, are you good? And then I found out more and I was like, okay, you're good. And she was like, oh, Robert, I was like, what do you plan on doing with all these pairs? Like, I know you want to breed them. She's like, oh, you're going to sell them. You're going to sell them. And I was like, what? Okay. And she's like, yeah. I was like, well, wait, I did not agree on a price. Like we got to figure this out. Yeah. And she's like, well, I'll tell you what. And she spent good money. They've spent good money, and not that any money's good money. Right. And, so I was like, well, what makes sense for you? She was like, I do not want to buy baby racks. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. She was like, how about $100 immediately out of the egg, no matter what it is? And I was like, yep, that works for me. Are you sure? And she's like, yep. And I said, okay. So then whenever I hear other people, I'm like, you know what? This isn't a bad deal. Like if maybe other people, because people do this. A lot of people do it for a hobby. Even people that are next to me selling, they're like, no, this is just a hobby. And
well, I think it's smart because there's a lot of people that they do want the experience to breed snakes, and they don't have the connections or will to really sell them, to do justice, and that might stop them from breeding. So, on one end, I've always been in the camp to where, when I produce snakes, I feel like that's my earned right to be able to sell the snakes. And I have ran my mouth about flippers literally for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? So I've had this hey, flippers are bad, and I don't like those tables, and I don't like those guys. You got to buy breeder direct only. But then at the same flip, I've got to take a step back and be like, okay, how many new people are breeding snakes for the first time just to be able to sell the babies to Robert, get their foot on the ground, and then within a couple of years, they'll become their own established breeders.
Sorry, we heard get their foot on the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, you're back.
It might have been us.
I'm back now. All right.
I heard you, Brandon. It wasn't you.
All right. So, I think it's a good thing that you're doing that. And, I take back the hate on it. I think that anytime you're bringing new people into the hobby to get them to breed, because my first couple of clutches, I wholesale too. You're just from the front end recommending them to wholesale straightly to you. And don't worry, I'll buy them. Don't worry, I'll buy them.
It gets better.
I think that's good.
It gets better. So then I was like, how does this multiply itself? Because what if I can't sell all of them myself? Like, what if we just can't do it? Because it's going to equal 2,000 to 5,000 carpets a year. Like, that's where we're going to be like, okay, everybody, like let's figure this out. This is a lot of animals, even though if you consider what we talked about earlier, I'm after the 95%. I'm after the cat owners, and there's a lot of cat owners out there. Okay. So I was like, I have to give more, right? You have to give more to be able to grow. So we were like, okay, I'm going to send back. You get the pick of the litter. Says Brandon, let's say that you're a curator for me, right? You got big boy job. You do big boy job. And so you say, you know what, dude, I want to sit in my camp and I don't want to go do shows. And I want to sit right here. And I just want to produce even more so that I can hit wild stuff. And I want to keep doing that. And I'm like, okay. So Brandon, you sent, now you're a little bit different because you can get the baby started, but let's just say that you don't want to do that. You send me all the babies. I give you $100 a piece and pay for shipping. And then before I put any online, before I put any on a table, you get to pick out 2 males and 2 females. So your 4 picks of the litter to buy back for the same price, $100 plus shipping, go back to you. You can trade them for Pokemon cards. You can sell them.
They're yours.
You can give them to the friends that have been gawking over your snakes.
You get to do it.
They're yours, right?
Yeah.
You can hold them back and create a Brandon Wheeler line. And then I'll be able to always say, hey, we got Brandon Wheelers just like you love on my table.
All right. That brings me to my next question. Now I'm going to cut you off. You got me rolling.
It's even better. So then I was like, how can I share even more? So I was like, okay, if you come, so Brandon, if you come and you're like, hey, dude, I got 1 weekend to take off. I want to come and sell my animals at your table. So then you sit at my table, you stand in front of your animals. And if you sell your animals at the show and you're the one who meets them, you're the one that talks about it, you sell them, you get 50% of the profit. So if it's an $500 snake, let's just say a $500 snake, I paid $100 for it. So we split $400, 50-50. Done. It's yours. Thanks. If you don't want to come to the show, like some of my curators who are total introverts, love me a good introvert. As long as they don't hate me, I know I'm an extrovert, but you know, I think MJ can, you know, we're needed in the world. Right. So then they get 30%. So if they just send somebody to us and they buy online or whatever, they're like, hey, I'm sending Billy Bob and gave him the ID code, you know, 009 to 019, and he's going to buy one of those. They can give him the discount or they can just sell it to Billy Bob and they get 30% sent to them. And the day that you tell me you're going to curate for me, if you sell anything on our table, then you get 10%, like no matter who did it. So that's just for everybody, whether you're there or not. So this way it's sharing. And let's be honest, like 50% is pretty fair if you come into the show and all that you have to do is sell your animals. And if you want to leave in the middle of it because you got a family emergency or because you just had enough of people, you just leave. You don't have all the setup. You're not obligated. Right. So the animals will be, you literally just walk away. Hey, I sold 4 snakes. Bye.
The Curator program really started, I think, because he had this mentality of like, not everyone who wants to breed wants to sell, and not everybody who wants to sell breed. So it's like, here, if you want to breed and you need an outlet to sell, then like, let's set this up. And if you want to,
I think selling's a lot harder than breeding, to be honest. Especially nowadays, you have so many people, in a sense. Like I know you guys are kind of working with carpets and stuff that isn't as like popular as ball pythons, but there's still a good amount of people working with carpets. Like you're gonna have competition anywhere you look nowadays. It all depends on the amount of effort you put in the marketing and the amount of shows you do. And I wanted to ask you before we even move further, like how much do you guys rely on shows for your guys' sales? Like, are you guys pounding shows on a like almost bi-weekly basis, monthly basis? Like how often are you really hitting the show scene?
Bi-weekly would be a pretty accurate.
So that's your meat and potatoes right there. Like that's, you rely on shows to sell the product.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we do some like Palm Street. We do live streams on Palm Street, and those we sell on there as well pretty well.
We Morph Market, we get, so what I like about Morph Market is that it gives people like that don't want to buy an animal online. Like they just don't. They want to actually see the animal, smell the animal, touch the animal before they. I was like that. I know I was like that.
Same.
So it's like, oh, these people are legitimate. They're on Morph Market. Okay. And then they come and they see us in person like, oh,
yeah,
okay, these are cool.
The show is where you get the real experience of being able to interact with them and everything.
Wanted to give a shout out to Morph Market though.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
No, shout out to Morph Market. No, but you're right. Like the show scene is everything. Like, I mean, there's no way you could actually accomplish what you're accomplishing without fucking hitting the show scene, because, and that also is why, like, dude, honestly, like, God, man, listen, if you're taking care of the animals and you're selling a good fucking quality animal, I mean, no matter who's a purist, no matter, dude, there's no rules of this shit. There really isn't. But you should want to set other people up for success with whatever it is that they're buying from you. And I want to get to that next topic here, Brandon. You know, me being so passionate I am with the green tree pythons, like, I know there's certain things I'm after in the green tree python game, and breeding is everything. Like, breeding is number one to me in the reptile world, and then podcasting and everything else. But breeding, I'm all about breeding for me. So I'm on that, basically the opposite end of what you guys are doing. But creating my own line of something is everything. And I know the road to creating my own line. That's what I've been doing for the last 8 years. What's your opinion, or what's your view of creating your own line of something? Like, do you feel like you need to breed that in order to call it your line? Or do you feel like if you acquire it, you could call it whatever line you want to call it?
Well, yeah. What are the guidelines to
chocolate line? Like say the chocolate line.
Oh, okay.
No,
so
let's go Bengal.
That's
you want to go Bengal? Okay, let's go Bengal. Let's talk about the Bengal line then.
Okay, so there was never a chocolate line. There was just a chocolate zebra that I just called chocolate zebra because that sounds better than brown zebra.
So let's do Bengal then. Fuck the chocolate.
Like, it's pretty sweet, man. And then whenever they were like, no, there's chocolate in this, I was like, my bad. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so this thing,
awesome.
That is probably one of the first. Yeah, that's the one from last year. And you see down her dorsal. So that popped up out of these two very random, like, I picked them up at a show because they were super dark, and Stacy loves dark, like high melanistic animals. And I'm like, okay, cool. They look like a pair of zebras. Didn't really look too hard at them. Like, okay, cool. Put them in quarantine. 2 years later, bred them, and out pops this. And I'm like, well, that doesn't, and that's a pretty good example of one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I'm like, oh, babe, look at this. And she's like, who's the parents? And I was like, the Mr. Salt and Miss Pepper. And I'm like, so we go look at Mr. Salt, and he doesn't look like that. There's a circle here or there, but not all the way down the body, like by any stretch of the imagination. So then we look at Miss Pepper, and we're like, oh, okay, she has some circles. It's like, okay, well, there's a well-known line of ocelots, but because we do not have any proof that they come from there, though there's a very high likelihood, I will say, I'm not here to ride on anybody's coattails.
So I don't think that they are related to curtain stuff, only because of the zebra and like it just the timelines I don't think make sense. But so you called this Bengal, right? Let's go ahead and get into why you call it Bengal.
Oh, cool. So a huge part of what we do is about the kids, right? And so there's this young lady who was at our table last year whenever we had produced them, and I'd put them up there. And I was like,
guys, for looking at the photos real quick, I want you to look at the circles. So look at all of these circle patterns, all up and down on the sides. That's very unique and different than you would normally see in a zebra. Other people have produced ocelot looking zebras like this, but this one's really extreme. And there's another one on Morph Market right now. I'm sorry, MJ, I didn't pull the photo up in time, but it's just as nice in my opinion. And from this year with a different female. Okay, Bengal, go ahead.
So we asked, so I'm like this little girl, and she's like, oh, that one's really pretty. I was like, thanks. I think so too. I said, you know what? I need help naming this project, because at last year, I never called it a line. I called it, if you'll remember very, very clearly, Bengal Project ? Like, in the ad, as unprofessional as that is, like there's a giant question mark. Like I'm being as transparent as, and if people would read the description, like I'm going into it. Like anyway, so so I asked her, I'm like, what does it look like? She said a jaguar, and I was like, no, can't name that one. And she's like, well, it looks like my Bengal cat. And I was like, you know what? It does look like a Bengal cat. That sounds like a great name. So that's where the name came from. Little girl in San Antonio, Texas. Her and her dad were walking around, and oh man, I was about to go on a tangent.
No, it's okay.
No, yeah, no more tangents. So that's cool. I like it. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's an ocelot zebra. Okay. And I want MJ, pull up the other photo that I sent you, please.
Yeah.
You can do it.
It's coming.
Sorry.
It's coming.
So then we take the male, Mr. Salt, who doesn't look like this, and we breed him to an unrelated, which all carpets, you know, for the most part, a lot of them are related in the country. So another female that was proven by a buddy. And
so I want you guys, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So I want you guys to look at this. So see, again, you have these strong circles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is one of Mike Curtin's caramel ocelot caramel jacks.
Okay.
Caramel ocelot.
Jag in the head stamp for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't think there's any more honest way that you could represent those zebras as ocelot zebras.
Okay.
I think it's what it is. I talked to Curtin about this today. He agrees with me. Talked to him yesterday. He's like, yeah, I mean, I get it. They can't trace their stuff back to my stuff, but I mean, ocelot zebra is probably the most honest way that they can possibly represent that snake.
Okay, cool.
Then perfect.
That's great.
You know, and
heck yeah. Then
I think it's an ocelot zebra, but like they're not all that though. You know what I mean? And I've noticed you have a wide price scale based on quality of the ocelot, really, you know, as far as what you're charging for on Morph Market. I think that totally makes sense. But you know, it's a polygenic trait. Yeah, it's going to be recreatable. I'm sure of it. The problem is the babies haven't been bred yet, and that's really the next step to kind of calling it a thing. Is the ones that have the ocelots, breed those up, create more, and now boom, you know, you're good to go. You know, I was talking about the lines. And I just want to be clear. Like, I want to look at history because you had brought something up at one point that I think was really valid. And you said, Brandon, show me a book where it says what the definition is or isn't of a line, you know, and I think that's valid. So like, I want to look at history, and I can think of a couple of different ways that it's been done. You have wild caught animals that have come in and get bred. Boom, that's a line. That's the easy way. And then the other ways, the people who breed them are never the ones that end up calling it a line. Like if you look at Balin Tigers, the one person that never called Balin Tigers was Jason Balin. His customers did it for him, you know. Another one would be like Pinnell Coastals, you know, and Penn Coastals. He never called them that. He just called them coastals. But everybody else, they were so fucking legendary, and people were so proud to have bought from them. Like Penn Coastals, that was, you know, that was special and that was unique. And that's one way to do it. And those are with the you know, the pure stuff. But then you have other things like Gamma, right? So Gamma line, that's a thing. You know, we talk about that. And you know, John never called them Gamma line. He just called them Gamma Jacks. And then the people that bought them from him and raised them up from breed and bred them, they ended up selling them as Gamma line. So it's like you have to bring in something either wild caught and be the first to do it, or you have to produce something so legendary that your customers will do it for you. And I would say the third way would be what happened with Ocelot. And that was Mike Curtin. He knew what he wanted. He wanted circles on the side of the freaking snake that looked like an ocelot, dude. And he went generation after generation after generation with it, and proved it out, you know, down to, you know, great. I mean, he's done it, and you know, and then you can name it once your babies that you have now that we were just showing have been raised up enough to breed and then reproduce, and you've checked that box, like that's when you get to name the thing. You know what I mean? Or at least that's the way that it's been historically in every other situation that I can think of.
So my question is, am I okay to call them ocelot zebras?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be riding anybody's coattails.
No, I don't think so. I think it's totally fine. I mean, don't call the ones ocelot zebras that don't have ocelots on them.
Okay. So how do you explain
those are zebras?
Male that has like one ocelot, like one or two little circles, producing the same clutch as he did whenever he was paired to the one with them? How do you explain?
I don't know. Breed the babies, finish doing the work, and find out.
Well, I understand that. Like,
you know what I mean? That's what you gotta do.
I also
there's some things that you can't
unrelated males too.
Some things to take.
Bring that up actually. Hold on. But Robert, will you please repeat that one more time because I think it's important.
So I also need to breed the female who was too skinny last year to reproduce, which thanks for pointing that out. So she's up and healthy and thick. So Miss Pep, thank you. Yeah. I'll be breeding her to something completely unrelated, to the best ability in the US. You know, it is what it is. So, but I want them to be desirable. So I'll probably pick something like a Nick Mutton, you know, pure jungle, which I'm sure Nick will just love that. But that way I get something else in there and I can say, well, it's at least 50% jungle. So yeah, we'll go from there.
That's cool.
And that way we can see like
are those parents unknown? Like they're both from unknown lineage, right? We know they're zebras, but that's kind of where it stops.
And I have but I didn't hit any super zebras, which could just happen. You know, there were 2 eggs that went bad, so that could have been the.
Those were your supers. There you go.
Yeah. So. But certainly, like if I breed her to a normal jungle, I should hit at least a zebra. And that will prove out that she is in fact a zebra because her head stamp looks like a zebra.
Are you talking about the one from this year?
No.
Or last year, the female?
Last year's female that
the one that's obviously a zebra, right? The one that's...
Yeah, the one that looks like a zebra, yeah.
Okay, that's a zebra, yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
All right, man. Cool.
So, so that helps. So calling them Bengal projects, how do we feel about that, guys? Because at the end of the day, calling things lines, because there's no book on it to help keep up with lineage, morally, I'm like, everything that's produced here in MFA or for MFA, and I'm the one like there's a lot of animals that are going to be going through my hands that literally the first time that they shed are going to be here. The only reason they were produced is because I was like, hey, do you want to breed? Here, breed them, send them to me. So those animals, or let's just say the animals that are produced here, right? By your definition, it's for keeping track of lineage and keeping track of those lines. I could call every one of them an MFA because
all of my snakes have names. Every single
like
one of my snakes have names. But I don't call it a line, you know, that's from Juicy Fruit. Yeah, that's from blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's from, you know.
I think it's just
they're Morelia House diamonds, right?
There's just
they're diamonds, bro.
Your customers are saying it, bro.
I need a marketing thing on the front end of it to sell the diamonds. I can just sell them as diamonds.
Yeah, that's right.
But also, dude, like I said, people are here for different motives, man. Like Brandon does not sell at the shows. Like he has a job like that he goes to and he grinds to. You're in this
drink at the shows. I go to shows to party. I don't go to the shows
exactly.
to
So that's why at the end of the day, if you want to do something that no one else is doing in a sense and prove that out, then good for you, dude. I mean, who the fuck's gonna stop you? Nobody's gonna stop you. You know what I mean?
contrary to what this has been, like, I want to be friends, guys. Like,
not everyone wants to be friends with you, and you got to be okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's
Yes.
just the way it is. Like, no matter how hard you try, Robert, you're just not going to make friends with certain people.
I will love them, though. I will love them so much.
God bless. Go ahead. Let me know how that works out. Okay.
You can love them, but they don't have to love you, and that's okay.
I know.
That's okay. We've learned that. It's fine.
So let me say something here. Like, so I just, from what I could see here, guys, like, obviously it's not easy to say in 2025 that you work with reptiles full time. Like, you got to have an ultimate game plan. You got to have multiple avenues. You got to have a fucking partnership. Like, having your wife as your right hand is fucking nuts. Like, that's, man, I wish I could afford that. My wife has a great job and she makes a lot of good money, so I can't afford her right now. But if I had that, that's game changer. So I just know your guys' playing field is a lot different than the majority of others that are here keeping reptiles. It all starts with just, I just want to pet and have fun. Then it starts into like, I want to rack and I want to breed. And then it turns into like, I want my own sticker and I want to go swap with people. And then it turns into where I'm at the Reptile Super Show. Here I am, and I'm fucking selling snakes, right? Yeah. And that stage, that stage of growth is, the timeline is different for everybody, dude. Some people, they do it in 3 years, okay? Some people, they do it in fucking 20 years. But I don't judge, man. Like, if you're definitely in this hobby and you're helping it grow, which Brandon already solidified that, you're helping this shit grow. You guys are bringing in the kids, dude. And I feel like, I mean, that's where I'm trying to look, where I can help more, is bring in the youth side of things, because that's our real future there. And I got to tell you, man, some of the best people I've met in this hobby are like in their mid-20s right now, and they've been doing this since they were like fucking 14, 13 years old. Like, you know, we all talk about Stephen Cush. Kid's a freak of nature, dude, but we need more people like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to carry the torch.
Job of that.
This is going to carry the torch further than we could ever imagine if we focus on the youth, man. So I want to just say, dude, keep fucking doing your thing, man. I'm really glad this episode happened now. I already knew I was happy, but I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of people in my fucking DMs, and they were all about you just not knowing information. And you know what? So fucking what, dude? Okay, get over it. He's selling a good fucking product, and it's bringing people in. And not everyone needs to buy from this guy if they're not happy with it. And you know what? You already laid down the example of what you meant by the line and everything else. So I don't see any harm in what you guys are doing, dude. And I just want to fucking, after everything I just heard for the last hour, this is the less I've ever talked on any podcast, by the way. But I'm just saying, dude, everything I heard, you guys are grinding, you guys are hustling, and that's what most people don't do in this fucking hobby, because they're lazy. They get all upset about the ones who are grinding. They get mad at anyone who's fucking making a career out of this. Dude, this is the life right here. All right. And I love you, Brandon, but you know damn well, in a perfect fucking world, if you could do fucking reptiles full time and you knew that money was there, like the plumbing bunny was, you would do it in a fucking heartbeat. And you know it. You know it. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. You know you want to be home every fucking day with your daughter, with your kids, and be fucking there like the way you want to be there. But you're doing what you got to do. You're doing what you got to do. These people are doing what the fuck they got to do. So good for them. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. That was solid, dude. That was fucking solid.
I really.
And it's true, dude.
I'm tired of the fucking bums crying at the ones who are successful in this hobby. Why does it eat you up so bad to see someone be successful in a hobby just because you can't fucking figure it out yourself? I've been going through this shit for 6 years now. I've been doing this full time 6 years, and people are still mad at me because I'm successful in it. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Get comfortable, because I'm just starting, okay? So that's all I got to fucking say about that. Go ahead,
okay, yes, Amen. But I love you all. And if you're in the comments and you're here because you want to see me like fail, I just want to see you succeed. You don't have to rip people down to make yourself feel bigger. You really don't.
There really is.
It doesn't help your situation out there, okay? If you're miserable out there, being upset at someone else who isn't miserable is not going to make you unmiserable. Okay,
but I got a light. I'm here to talk. And if there's anything that you're like questioning, I'm an open book. I want the opportunity to get to know you.
I was going to say earlier, like a lot of this stuff would have been cleared up if more people just had a conversation with him, because he's he's so like, talk to me, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to do better. So like, hey, if we disagree, like, then let's talk about it. Like there's nothing that I don't want to, you know, I'm
Dude,
not open.
Stacey was pretty funny when I first started talking to Robert after that episode. Because we had been on the phone for like 45 minutes before we ever even got started talking about snakes. Like we got stuck in the stock market for like a half hour talking about fucking oil ETFs. And Stacey's like, Robert, you have stuff to settle with this dude. You really need to get to the point. You know?
She is my compass, guys. Like, truly, the passion is directed by this woman.
And you know what, Robert? That's another thing a lot of people don't have. Okay, they're in this by themselves, and that's not easy, dude. To, you know, man,
I couldn't.
When you have the other half that's on the same page as you, okay, and she supports you or he supports you, and not only that, they're in on it with you, dude. That's like a power that some people would just dream to fucking have. You know what I mean? And it's a blessing. All these are blessings, and so can't be mad at a man who's blessed. You know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like it's inspiring because, like I said, one day I want my wife to be as close as your wife is to you, Robert, in this. Because I know if my wife was in this, holy shit, I can only imagine the things I could see like growing if I had my wife's help, you know. But I'm all in this.
You do? Sugar Mama's helping out. All right. Hey, she's helping.
No, man. But I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a lot of advantages on your side right now. You know, obviously the mentality, you're like, you guys know what you want. You guys have a great, clear vision of what it is that drives you guys, but you guys have each other, you know, and it's a family thing. I mean, how much deeper can you get than that, you know?
Okay. So I really wanted to touch on this in here because I want to call to action, is if that's okay with you.
Sure. So
in the hobby, and I know this is kind of like left field, but so did y'all play sports, MJ?
Yeah.
Did y'all play?
I'm a very competitive person. People can't tell that already.
Okay, so you did. So
Yeah.
you played sports growing up. You know, we know Brandon was like the best snowboarder in the world or something like skier. So
Andy, wait, hold on. Andy was a manager at Hooters. I don't know if that was a sport, but
whoa, easy, kid friendly. Okay, talking about your podcast is kid friendly with us on it. Okay, so wait, where'd he go? I lost his interest.
It's fine.
He can hear you. You're fine.
Carry on.
Okay. So y'all grew up doing sports like I did. Okay, and you had somebody's parents. My dad was a coach for me, and well, my stepdad, but I call him my dad. So he was a coach to me. He donated his time during the week after he got off of work. He donated his weekends to helping other kids. And it wasn't just about how to hit the ball. It was about whenever you do strike out, because it happens to everybody, that it's okay to keep your head up and that as long as you stay in it, that you'll have another chance. Mm-hmm. So he's not just coaching on how to play baseball. He's coaching life skills. How many people, Brandon, that you know that are speaking to kids and being, because they're reptile kids, they might not like the sun very much, but they know everything. You've met those freaking little light beings that just want to, whenever a kid, you know what I'm talking about. Whenever a kid sees scales and their eyes just light up, it's like, oh man, you got the bug. And I know it. I know that look. And it's like, you don't have to go and do the sports if you don't want to. I'm here to coach you. And it's not just going to be about breeding snakes. It's also going to be about, hey, you might fail. And that's okay. And it's one of the hardest things, especially whenever you're dealing with life and death, whenever you're dealing with animals and bringing more animals in. But you're going to keep on. And hey, you remember what comes first. That animal relies on you. So teaching responsibility. Yeah. So it's just carpet pythons and those species that we're really passionate about, that we feel make great first pets. Mm-hmm. We're using that not only to, further the reptile community, but also to reach those kids that might not have the sports drive that need the coaching about life. Because let's face it, there's a lot of adults that are still child mentality out there because they never got talked about as MJ talked about it earlier. If you have a vision and act, so faith plus action, and you continue to push on. And if the enemy comes against you, that's okay. That's what the enemy is supposed to do. You take
Challenges.
the challenges. So like, so that's for kids. So that's my call to action is if you're out there and you have the opportunity to mentor kids, then don't just make it about breeding snakes. Also understand that you're coaching them about life too. So I want to be a coach to kids, as many kids as I can, as many young people as I can, to teach them about life too, right? Because I've chased the dollar and then I've chased my passion. I've been able to learn these things, right?
Yeah.
And,
Anyway, I want to ask you one more question. I hear you. I like it, and you're absolutely right when it comes to the kids, and you know, I'm just trying to be a good dad, man, day by day. You know what I mean?
You are a great dad, Brendan. For sure.
He's the best.
I want to hit on one more topic. It's slightly uncomfortable to ask this question. I don't really want to ask it, but I know it's been a common one amongst the people in my inbox this week. So I want to ask it. There are many times when you guys are at shows and people are noticing snakes that have a certain price tag on them that may be 3x the price of, you know, literally maybe a sibling of that animal on another table down the road. How do you justify that? And what is kind of your thought process as far as pricing? Because I think when it comes to high-end animals, dude, you're doing everybody a favor. You're single-handedly raised the price of inland pythons, basically. Everybody's like, oh shit, you can get that for it? Cool, we're gonna raise the price. Now I'm gonna charge an extra $200. Thank you. You know, and like for the high-end stuff, like you've got some you have some things right now that you're the only person in the United States that has them. There are a lot of things in your collection that demand a high price tag, but there's also some stuff that's kind of lower end that typically would be entry-level animals where you would expect somebody would buy one as a pet for their first snake, like a kid or something like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of those are still marked kind of up at least. And I've never been to your shows, dude. I've never seen you at a show. I haven't seen what these prices are, so I don't even know. This is just something I'm echoing from my inbox, and I just kind of wanted to get your perspective on it.
That's
a great question.
Such a good question, and one that I'm so happy to answer. So first off, whenever I sell anything over $2,000, $500 of that is literally a shopping spree. Let's go get this. I'm going to give you the enclosure to raise it up in, but we're also going to go spend $500 on a display. $500 is going to go towards what this animal should be in. Like, and if it doesn't cover all of it, it's at least $500 because I want this thing to be displayed because it's a piece of art. Mm-hmm. I want to be part of helping pick out the frame for this piece of art.
Well, and I will say also so when we're at an expo, all of the babies, like, you know, the younger ones all of them include the enclosure, but specifically the starter enclosure that I'm referencing. So that price on the cup includes the starter enclosure that's good for the baby for up to a year. And that includes the heat mat, the thermostat, the perch, the locks, the water dish, everything you need to have it fully set up today. And so it takes the stress out of having to go figure out what to buy, you know.
It takes our stress out too, because how many times did we receive like call? Because the only calls, look, we got in and out of sulcatas real quick. We understood. I was like, hey, I can buy them for $15 and I can sell them for $100. Okay. And then we take 4 hours to explain.
I'm still here. I'm still listening. Keep going.
4 hours to explain how to care for this baby sulcata. And then they still call us and they're like, it's dead. And I'm like, oh God, no. Oh no. No. So anyway, sorry. So what we kept getting, we never got calls on carpets except for, hey, it's not like something's wrong. It's being like crazy. And I'm like, well, send me a picture of your setup. And they've got it in a 10-gallon tank with a hog lamp on one end and like soaking wet Reptile on the bottom. They're like, I can't keep the humidity. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're trying to steam cook it. Like no, erase all that. Go get a heat mat, a digital thermostat, paper towels, and pray to God it's not like scarred for its life. So what we looked at, we started to do some research and we found these little shoe boxes. They're front opening shoe boxes that once you snap them together, you have to break them to get them apart.
They do not come
and
apart.
So we tested them. I always tell, like, we tested them for 10 months. Right. I wanted to make it a year. but we had a big show coming up. And I'm like, look, it's been 10 months. Everybody's doing good. So we started selling them. And that was a huge like relief. Yes, it takes a lot to carry those things around, and it takes up a lot of room inside of our vehicle, which we've stayed smaller to fit inside. Plug for Honda Odyssey, best reptile vehicle. You heard it from us. So
that's something that many people don't know, is that at the show we include the enclosure in the price, and the heat mat and the thermostat and all of the supplies. And so people will say like, oh, well, if I don't need that, if I don't need that stuff because I already have a setup, then it's like, yeah, then we take some off the price, then because that's not included. You don't need that. But
again, as far as taking off the price, okay, business ethics 101, everybody. You cannot have an animal priced at $500 and then you see somebody that's like, oh, I gotta have this thing, and then you're like, okay, 1 second. $700. Like, you can't do that. No. But what you can do is say, oh my God, I really love that animal. It's $1,000, but all that I have is 700. I like you. Okay, 700. That's more than fair. Here you go. Here's an enclosure to go with it too. So we can always come down, but we can never go back up.
They're negotiable also.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
He's very like, talk to me about price. Like, let's talk about it.
But there was a guy that walked up this last weekend and like, he wouldn't even have a conversation. He was like, they're cheaper on Morph Market. And I'm like, why are you yelling at me?
Okay.
Well, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, and I'm like, why are you yelling at me? I don't like, can we talk? No, I'm not interested in anything. Will you take this? No, I actually won't. That's okay. And then the next person that came up, I was like, the same offer that he made, I was like, hey, will you take this? That guy just offered me this, but I really did not like him very much. And they're like, and then he walked back up. He's like, oh, you're looking at my snake? And she's like, I'll take it. And I'm like, hell yeah. So like, be nice, man. Nice gets you a long way, you know? But anyway, so as far as the pricing, I realized that carpets are just so underpriced, Brandon. And I'm like, we go to shows, and whenever we first went, we were like comparing, like everybody's favorite thing to say is, what does it sell for on Morph Market? And so we priced them at Morph Market prices, and guess what happened? We sold out. That is not our business model. We wanted to educate more people, and we wanted them to have the opportunity to get these amazing animals, but we can't make them appear out of nowhere. So we needed to we already have these shows booked up. We need stuff on so we're like, okay, we'll reach into our holdbacks, the ones that we wanted to hold back for ourselves, not holdbacks by definition. I don't know who made the definition that you cannot hold back an animal that somebody else produced, but I did not realize that was a no-no. But animals that we'd gotten that I was holding back to keep because I bought the whole clutch. Yeah. So it's like, anyway, so our holdbacks, and I'm like, okay, let's just add a 1 in front of the number, Stacy. And they'll never sell.
They won't sell.
They won't sell. First animal that sells.
That's the thing.
We're like, $1,500. What?
When we started, our prices were much lower, and then we go to shows and we'd like nearly sell out. We're like, we can't. We are selling.
This is not
we're
sustainable.
Selling them too fast. Like we.
Okay, so I just want to interject real quick. Has that ever come back around to bit you guys in the ass? Like maybe they didn't know any better. They were excited. Yeah, carpet python, boom, and they dropped the 1,500. And then they find the other table at the end of the show that hasn't put the one in front of it. And it's still for 5.
Not one time, Brandon. Knock on wood. Not one time. But you know what has happened? Hey, I see that and this happened at Tinley. So we'll be in Tinley again this year. We'll be in, I want to shout, so Tinley in October. We'll be at NARBC in Dallas. And then also we'll be at Reptilian Nation in San Antonio this weekend. So literally we have to pack up and everything.
We're leaving tomorrow.
Wow. Yeah, we got to wake up at 4. So anyway.
Happened in Tinley.
Oh, I'm like talking, I only have like 4 feet on a buddy's table. And I'm talking about carpets and about how I'm trying to correct. This is like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I'm trying to correct the carpet market. I bought and I told him, I bought everything that had jungle blood from any reputable person here. I bought everyone. I bought Tinley out. I'm not a rich man. I'm not. I'm really not. But it was incredibly easy to do. So I'm like, okay, so I get all these animals from, you know, and I'm not buying ones and twos. There's the ones and twos, like you said, the flipper tables. Like, I'm like, no, that's okay. So nothing against you guys. You know, you have your place. Just
MJ, can you mute me real quick? I'll be right back.
Oh, no, he's
It's
going.
the dog.
So what can happen is they're like, hey, your albino's $880. There's a well-known guy over there that's selling his albinos for $350. And they're like, Robert, we really want to do business with you. And I don't mean to, what was the exact words? They said, I do not want to offend you. And I was like, no, not at all. Like, I connected with these people. They're like, would you take $550? They offered me $200 more than the guy down the aisle. And I'm like, are you sure? They're like, absolutely. And I was like, done. Like, twist my arm.
And honestly, like, dude, not everyone. I come from a really strong sales background too. I feel like that's why I relate a lot to what you're saying, Robert. Because even working with some of the pure locality stuff in the Green Tree Python game, like, you know, I technically, like, someone has like a set range for a pure locality, but if you're making a pure locality that is like noticeably nicer than the other ones and they're line bred and you've been doing it, I mean, dude, if like label that at however much you feel like it's worth it. And if someone's willing to pay that price with you, well, there you fucking go. Where's the problem? You know what I'm saying? And honestly, like, yeah, I guess in the hobby, it's like to buy a snake off a table, put it on your table and charge more is a no-no, but is it? I don't fucking know. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, if it's not mislabeled, okay. The only thing I'm not okay with in that sense is a quarantine thing, right? Like, if you're buying an animal from somebody and you're not even making sure it's okay and you're just quickly turning it over to the next person, well, I think that's been a big issue about in this hobby for a while. And I feel like you're almost setting somebody up for failure versus success in that case. But I'm just saying, dude, like, there's really no rule book with what you should be pricing something. Like, you're either going to look like you know what you're doing or you're going to look like you're a fucking idiot. But if someone's willing to pay that price, well, then hello. And I agree with you, dude. There's many things I work with specifically that I feel I know once I produce, I could charge a lot more than what they're going for. And guess what? I have. And I've been right. So, and I've been sold out. So what the fuck?
Dare you? How dare you, MJ?
Dude, listen, money is not the motive when it comes to keeping reptiles, but I love making money and I'm good at it. I'm fucking real good at it. So I just relate with you 100% with when you see something undervalued and you're able to put a light to it and show it however quality wise as you do it. You know, for me, I want to breed it, then show like, dude, this is why I have what I have. And this is why I price it what I have, because you ain't going to find it anywhere else. And that's my reason on why I price the shit, why I price it. But I also price it to what I would pay for it. Like, I make sure it's a price that I feel like I would pay that price for that if I feel like, you know, if it's worth it. So, but yeah, man, like literally, dude, this is your business. That's why it's like, say what you want, but the business is ran by the business owner, okay? Business decisions are made by the business owner, and that's all it matters. It's your business, dude. Nobody else's. So what the fuck are you going to say about it? That's it.
We have a lot of people who believe in us and trust in us. We really do. So we actually have a private Discord that one of our MFA family members was like, dude, you need a Discord. And I was like, I need a what? I was like, okay. And I was like, I can get one of those. He was like, done. I made you one. And he's like, I need you to send this link to everybody who buys a carpet from you. And I'm like,
okay.
Okay. This isn't going to like steal their stuff. And he's like, no, it's cool. And I'm like, okay. So he moderates all of it for us. It's only been up for like
a couple months.
And we're almost at 100, like maybe 2 months, and we're at almost 100 members. And that's just, you know, people who have copied the link, because there's a lot of people that don't do that stuff. But it's a community, man. It's the best part of like for me, I get to go and I don't click on Facebook anymore. I don't click on anything else. I click on Discord because I know that they had one guy, for instance, that bought from us, got the little enclosure, and he's like, oh, it's too small. It's a baby, dude. It just got a 6 times upgrade from what it was at my house, you know, in a baby hatchling rack. And now it's got this tub that's like this enclosure that's like this. And he goes to Petco And Petco sells them a bearded dragon setup with a carpet.
Stick the bulbs.
With reptile carpet, and everybody's like, and what would you think if you post that on the carpet community? You know, no offense to the carpet community, but it's going to be like, oh, you terrible human, you've got it on reptile carpet, you're a piece of crap. It's like, that's not allowed. It's, hey, I know that you want to do the best for your animal, and you know, if you want to keep the bigger clear enclosure, that's fine. Maybe let's try paper towels if you want something easy to clean up, puppy pads. We make suggestions. It's positivity. Mm-hmm. So like in our Discord, you have like just the general public. So if you get the link, but you've not bought from us yet, you get like this many public channels. Then you get a family role and you get this many. And then if you're a curator, you get the extra like voice, and we do like curator talks, but on there as well, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And some people don't like to get on the Discord to do it, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays, like I told you about coaching kids, that's the days that we help people that are inexperienced or that want help feeding their carpets. I literally FaceTime them. So I make sure I cook dinner. I'm the cook of the family. Yeah. And Stacy makes a mean bowl of cereal though. I'm telling you, it's so good.
Damn. Hey, I can make a few things. Okay?
Spaghetti's good too.
Like my pasta is good because I love pasta. But
wait, are you guys really into cereal or not? Because I want to know your favorite cereal if that's the case.
Oh, I'm not.
He's not.
Special K strawberries.
Like oh shit. So we're talking healthy stuff. All right, never mind.
Oh, you're over here, Mr. Fruit Loop, huh?
I eat good now. I actually, cereal fucks my stomach up unless it's like really healthy cereal, then it's fine. But all the shit I used to eat, like all the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and my favorite, I don't mean to get off topic, my favorite fucking combination back in the day was half Cinnamon Toast Crunch, half Frosted Flakes. That was like, I probably did that for like 3 years in a row. And that's probably why I have stomach issues now. But I'm just saying, like, dude, I was a cereal connoisseur back in the day. I don't mean that topic.
It's almost like you're a beginner fat kid, man. I did the Cocoa Puffs with Rocky Road and Nestle powder.
Oh, see, that's intense. Yeah. That's so. Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic.
No, okay. You're good. But we FaceTime and help kids.
That's huge, man. Like honestly, like
there's some parents that are like, absolutely no. And I'm like, what if I told you that I would coach? What if I told you that you would never like it's gonna be
so the parents just have to hold the camera and then the kids do it because
that's pretty awesome.
They have one mom that literally through the door and I'm like
no.
I'm like, Belinda, you need to zoom in. I can't see anything.
Are you kidding me? That would be my mom, man. Shout out to the moms out there and even the dads, but man, like my mom fought tooth and nail with my dad. Like, you're not getting a fucking snake. And my dad just got it anyways. And what's crazy, not even a year later, that snake got out and was missing for 3 months. My mom, I don't know how many times she threatened to leave the house. And we ended up finding it, thank God. But I'm just saying, man, like, this is big, man. This is, for you to find that kind of time, because you know how important it is to the whole growth. And another thing too, right, Robert, let's say this podcast never happened. And let's say whatever narrative that was out there stated what it was, it would have never had no effect on what you've been building, dude. Because you, as much as it did hurt you, and I know I get it. I've been on that end of seeing things being thrown out there and you're like, what the fuck? But man, what you're doing is already so impactful. No matter what, you have your own community. And I feel like no matter how people take you when you first come in, when you do the work, you end up building your own community of supporters. And you got people all in the chats, man. Like, you want to talk about like you getting emotional, go back and watch this episode and go look at all the fucking nice things that people are saying about you in the live chats. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought I was going to have to deal with some idiots, but idiots aren't here right now, dude. And you got nothing but supporters in the chats. So, and I think that's all because what you're building. And that's what you guys tonight, when you go to bed, man, pat yourselves on the back and give your guys props for building that community, because the kids will become adults before we fucking know it, right? Then what? They're a part of this forever, So that's what's amazing. You know what I mean? That's what's everything. Everything what glues this together is the building, the impactful, inspiring the kids, man. And it gives me chills because I have my second kid I'm about to have, and I want to be a better example for them. I don't want to be this hothead for the rest of my life, dude. You think I want to continue this? No, I don't. I want to become better. And that's why I wanted to do this episode, to show, like, when you fuck up, you fuck up. Just make it right. It's as simple as that. And I gotta say, this is the best kind of like making up I've ever done in any trap talk. This has been great because I think you two are amazing people for this hobby. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
means a lot. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think like, you know, you don't get like hate or challenges like that unless you're really doing something, you know?
Matters, dude. When you're really, really doing the work, that's when you hear a lot of things. You hear everything because guess what? You put yourself on that pedestal. But dude, it's not easy, but it's worth it. I'll tell you that much. And I know you guys are looking at each other and saying this is all worth it. Like, because it's making you guys stronger than ever. I can only imagine. Like when stuff like this goes down, you guys rely on each other, and now you have a whole community on top of that. You know?
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
it's inspiring.
We both were like, you know, it's one of those things. It's really a mindset too, because like,
It is, yeah.
you know, you can choose to let it affect you, or you can just keep rolling and keep pushing. And we were just like, nope, that's not ours. That's not for us.
So
like, we don't absorb it. We're like, all right, that's fine. Just it's kind
because
of
it doesn't pay the bills like that.
Well, hey, I had somebody do it really eloquently for me. They had they had something, I think it was a pin, and they were like, Robert, you are taking offense. And if I'm going to coach anybody out there, let me just speak some light into you, because I do have a light within me and I want to share it. So he was like, Robert, you have to take offense. Watch, look.
I'll be the example.
Sorry. It's like, take offense. No, show them how you take offense. How do you take it?
You want me to take it?
Yeah, take it.
Okay.
Okay. So now she takes offense. Now watch, look.
It falls right off.
Yep.
And now I'm left with this, and it's like, okay,
or it's
so
the same thing with hate. Like if you're like, take this hate, and I just choose not to take it, then that's yours. You're left with it. Not
I love that. Okay, technically, I'm holding so many water bottles right now. Crazy. Like I need to tie my hands, bro. Like all you have to do is drop it. That's all you have to do.
bro.
You don't have to handle it. It's not yours.
Hey, I just dropped thousands of water bottles.
They can have it. It's not.
We need to come up with a different example, because water bottles are good for you, everybody.
Drink water.
Hydrate.
You know, but honestly, dude, it's only as deep as you let it get. You know what I'm saying? And all this stuff.
But it hurts. I'm not saying
it hurts,
y'all.
It hurts, but guess what? It only means you're doing something, you know? And that's what really matters at the end of the day. Is if we all look at the grand scheme of things, you guys are putting in work, more work than the average person puts into this hobby. So that's all that matters. And we're going to kind of end things on that. We're going to wrap things up to where, like, dude, whatever you're doing is the growth of what we want in this hobby. The kids are everything. And yeah, I mean, whatever. Do you have any final statements you want to say, Brandon, before we let them say any statements before we?
I just appreciate you guys coming on the episode, man. Thank you for accepting it. You know, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for accepting my apology. I'm really glad that this worked out the way that it did. And this was awesome. I'm proud of you guys.
We had 120 people tapped in at one point. So I want to know whatever closing statements you guys have on tonight's episode, anything you want to say to everyone listening tonight, your supporters, and even the ones who don't really support whatever, for whatever reason. What do you have to say to everyone out there, guys? You guys could both go if you guys like.
I'll go first. Thank you guys first and foremost for having us and inviting us, and, you know, like being willing to kind of like revisit some of those things. I really appreciate it. And, you know, that's just so cool to give us an opportunity to kind of like share who we are and share our heart. Thank you to all of our MFA family members and our community and our Discord, and, you know, you guys know who you are. Thank y'all for always showing up for us and being there. And gosh, I don't know. I guess I want to say, if you didn't really know us before and maybe you know us a little bit better now, I hope that you feel welcome to come and talk to us, or talk to Robert specifically if it's him you want to talk to. Yeah, like he genuinely is an open book, and like he loves to talk to people. Like he genuinely loves to talk and like build relationships. I think he's really passionate about relationships and like carpets and people, specifically those two things, and just like wants to like do the most. He's so extroverted, and he has such a vision, and such like he's brilliant when it comes to business and his passion, and like he's being humble, but he's really forward thinking, and some of his ideas are very progressive and very out of the ordinary, and there is like a little bit of like a shock value with that. It's like, whoa, what are you doing? But like if you talk to him and get to know him, he really has like, it's like, oh, okay, actually that's that's different, that's unique. So I guess I would just say if you are one of those people that didn't really talk to Robert, I think that maybe that, and if not, that's okay too. But I think that he would also appreciate it. If that's something that you guys would want to do, he'd be open to it, is what I'm saying. Your turn.
Send us home, Robert.
I'm going to do my very best to not choke up.
It's okay if you cry.
It's all right. Real men cry. You're good, bro.
It's true.
It's just, thank you, Brandon. Thank you, MJ, for humbling yourselves, because y'all have been doing this for longer than us. You've put in more hours, more years, and I'm so thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for the people who reached out to me after y'all's last podcast that were like, hey, man. And they've been in the reptile community for even longer than, even you guys. And they're like, look, you got to put on your thick skin, Robert. We know it's not true if there's any. So I got to say to everybody, if you're chasing your passion and there are people that are coming to you, listen, pick up what you feel that you need to change, be okay to change it, and then continue forward, but don't give up. If you continue to drive and you have the vision and you continue to work towards that vision, you will be successful. The people that need to come out will come out of the woodworks, man. They will literally chase you down and ask to jump on. Just continue moving forward. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, MFA family, for being there with us. Thank you guys for giving us this opportunity. And see y'all next time.
The people who are meant to be there will be there, and the people who are not meant to be there will not be there. And you will find that out on your journey, but keep on going and stay,
Oh, and Carpet Fest is going to be October 25th.
Yes.
So even if we cannot make it, please go. Please, if you're not even a carpet person, give carpet people the chance to show you why you need to be a carpet person.
Carpet Fest is great. So shout out Carpet Fest. It's at Reptilandia,
which is amazing.
Awesome.
MJ, have you been to Reptilandia?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's my fourth. I'm going back on Wednesday in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ari and Quetzal are good friends of mine. So
Quetzal's such a cool guy, man.
Good people. But I just want to say this to you guys before I let you guys go. Again, very, very awesome episode. Robert, I'm sure you already know what you have next to you. That support right there, man. Like the way your wife just talked about you, like that's what you call your rock. You know what I'm saying? So even without, and like I said, you have a lot of blessings. The MFA community, huge, but just having that kind of support right there, bro, endless opportunities, bro. Like literally there's no roof over your head when you have support like that. So definitely give her props tonight, when you guys are, with each other, because without having wives or another fucking half like that, dude, I don't know how you could get through the shit that you went through. I really don't. Because I went through the same thing, man. Like without my wife's support, when I had these people wanting to cancel me, I don't know how I would have continued on, because I went through a lot. So just wanted to give that props to you, Stacy, first and foremost. Ride or dies like you don't come around now that much. You know what I mean? So props to you. And then Desiree, another ride or die for Brandon, which he's fucking very blessed to have a wife like Desiree. And then shout to my wife. Shout to all the wives out there.
Yes.
All the ride or die.
All the ride or die wives and husbands. Because it's not always just the wife.
It's the other way around too.
I'm telling you. There's some crazy chicks out there the husbands aren't down, but they're down. So it doesn't matter. Whatever half is supporting the other half, God bless all you guys. All right. So what an amazing episode. Before we let you go, why don't you say where people can follow you? Like whatever Instagram plugs, throw it all out there, Robert or Stacey.
Well, I do the social media. That's what I'm pointing me. So MFA.reptiles on all the socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's MFA.reptiles. Our website is mossfamilyadventure.com.
Cool.
And I think that's it.
And
really.
if you want to call me, 337-205-2499.
Oh, Mike
Please.
Jones.
Oh, that's a sales guy.
That guy, I don't know how you could top that. But listen, guys, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Please, all the viewers, listeners, find the links in the description below. Go give them a follow. Please support this family because the Trap does, Morelia House does. And give it up. It's a wrap for Stacy and Robert Mott. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Hey, have a good night, guys. Thank you so much.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Wow, man. That was great. What do you think? You happy with
Dude,
it?
it was fucking awesome.
Went the way you thought it would go?
Yeah, it did.
Well, great podcast, buddy. Appreciate this. Definitely not, wasn't part of the plan, but it went, it happened the way it happened. So fuck it.
Hey, perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
That was great.
But this is how solutions should be solved. You know what I'm saying? Like, if
Dude, it's important, man, because
you know how many people don't do this, Brandon? You know how many people don't look at the situation and say, "Damn, we weren't right here. Why don't we at least talk, bro?" I don't know why people don't talk to each other. Like, yeah, I have a podcast, but this could have easily been settled even over the phone, which we did. But like, dude, people need to get over their fucking shit and own it when you're wrong and just make it right and let's move forward. Keep it about the animals. Why is that so difficult? You know what I mean?
shit. How many times have you and I done that?
But exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right. 110%. Wait, no, but you're usually, I guess you're right. Hey, Brandon, honestly,
you know what though? It's important to be able to move forward, dude. People fuck up, people make mistakes, people have disagreements, but this like permanent cancel culture, anything, and like throwing people out of the hobby forever, and like they shouldn't be here, and like, dude, I'm not.
Yeah, but then again, like, okay, here's an example, right? And dude, honestly, you fucking killed it tonight, Brandon. Like the way you brought up, like how lines are being called lines. It's not from the fucking breeder. It's from the people buying it, customers who are excited and proud to own it, right? But kind of going back to like, we were talking about earlier. Fuck, dude. Oh man, I was gonna say something, but I don't know. What an episode. I'm just drained right now. I was just gonna say you made a lot of good points tonight. Like there was a lot of things you laid out that just connected with like the points you were trying to make, and at the end of the day, man, it was just a really good episode. I kind of brain farted there, but
it wasn't even so much that I was trying to make points. I just wanted, like, I knew what a lot of different people had been saying, and I knew all the rumors, and all of them landed in my inbox, and I wanted Robert and his wife to really have a chance to just address everything. Like they deserve to be able to answer the questions. You know what I mean? And they deserve to be able to, do everything that they did tonight. I'm really proud that they did. I think they did a great job. And, I think a lot of issues were put to rest and a lot of questions were answered. I'm glad it went the way that it did. I
know what I was going to say now. Now, we were talking about like the line, like the kind of the founding fathers of a lot of the projects and, like individuals that are still here. Like, do you see these people complaining at all? Like, maybe not like publicly, but I'm just saying like, dude, the big issues are coming from people who are just not really doing much in this hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like the big problem, people who have issues with anything in this hobby are the ones who are not putting in much work. You know what I'm saying? Because the ones who are putting in the work, they don't got a lot of time to be bitching and fucking worry about other shit but themselves, So I just think at the end of the day, man, this family proved that whatever they're doing is their thing. They're passionate about it. And the support that they had in the chats tonight, can't take that away. It is what it is. It's there. And they are fucking inspiring people out there. And not much more I could ask for somebody in this hobby. If you're inspiring and bringing the youth in, dude, fuck yeah, my book. So, all right, man. Well, when's your wife get back?
Sunday.
Oh, all right. So are you, okay, listen.
I'm so busy.
Are you literally holding it down for both children right now?
No. She's got my daughter. She's got her daughter. I've got Cash. Cash is safely playing Minecraft through this entire episode.
So dude, I don't feel that bad for you. Other than I'm sure you miss your wife and your daughter, but bro, you got Cash. You're fucking lounging right now, buddy. I don't right?
Tomorrow will be a lounge. We're going camping this weekend. You want to go? What are you doing Saturday night?
I don't know, bro. I can't even.
Just going up to Julian one night, go camping. The campsite's already there. It's dope. One night, easy peasy.
I'm feeding all the babies Saturday, I think. Like last time I checked, I don't know. Dude, I'm like you, bro. Swamped, just swamped.
Let's go camping.
That sounds great, bro. Yeah, let's go to New Zealand too. Dude,
it's in Julian, bro. It's an hour drive from your house, and we already have the campsite. I'm going anyway.
It stresses me out. Hey, listen, Morelia House on Instagram. Are you ever gonna YouTube again? Probably not. I don't know.
I don't have time.
Yeah. Anything you want to say to people before we leave, dude? Because we did have a good crowd tonight. So anything you want to say to them before we let you exit?
I don't know. There's a lot of people that didn't want me to do this episode, but I thought it was important that I did it. And I don't know, man. I just want to have fun. I want to love doing what we're doing. This hobby is an amazing place to be. And I don't want to be a part of anything that'll bring hate to a part of it and like darkness to a part of it. Like, I don't need to play those games. I felt like I did during that last episode and just never really sat well. And, you know, there's so many cool opportunities in this industry, and it's just such a fun place to be. And, you know, we're here for the animals, but we don't forget that, man, these guys put a roof over their heads just selling carpet pythons.
I mean, how inspiring is that?
Dude, nobody else does that. Like, yeah, you've got Nick Mutton, the fucking legend. Who else?
Ryan Young, but he does a lot more other than.
No, Ryan does all kinds of species. That doesn't count. I think he'll do one or two. To have like 95% of what you do carpet pythons and be able to run a household with kids and stuff on just that income,
But who's working them the way they are? Nobody is. Like,
the work that they're putting in is absurd.
Exactly. So there you go.
They hustle really, 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 really hard.
Yeah, and there's no avoiding to get success in anything. There's no avoiding hard work. That's what and that's why I'm like, man, to get upset at somebody putting in work, the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, that's why it just baffles me sometimes. But anyways, we had enough rants on tonight's episode. And again, Brandon, thank you for your support, guys. Go give him a follow. Instagram link in the description below. It's a wrap.
On Wednesday, I'm on Stephen Cush's show.
Cush's Corner every Wednesday. Brandon Wheeler will be there. So. Anything else? Fuck, dude. Come on, hurry up. Any other, you know, and by the way, I appreciate that shout out. I love Cush. Cush's Corner is one of my favorite days of the week. But anything else you want to say, or are you good?
No, I just am excited to talk to Steven. Have a good night, guys.
Give it up. It's a wrap for Brandon Wheeler, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night, Brandon. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Take it easy.
And yeah, okay, listen. Great episode tonight. Before I let you guys go, I do also want to apologize for getting wrapped up. Listen, you can say all you want that MJ's all about drama. Well, for the show, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't really take away everything I'm doing breeding-wise, so you can't say I'm all about drama, motherfucker. I'm about being a breeder first, right? But I am going to be more methodical about when things are brought to my attention, no matter who it is. Everything should be looked at thoroughly, okay? So this was my biggest lesson learned, is like, yeah, no matter how the facts are laid out to you, why don't you do a little bit more homework or at least speak to the other person? Man, I preach this a lot, man. Like, if you have an issue with somebody or something, go talk to that person. Stop fucking going through a million other people and just go straight to that person. I didn't do that in this case. I should have. I would have done that. Guaranteed things would have been a lot more differently, or this episode would have happened a long time ago. But either way, it happened the way it does. A lot of the way the stars align for a lot of different reasons, but the way they align is the way they align. You can't really control a timeline on that. It just happens the way it does. I'm just happy this episode happened, all right? Because the Moss family deserved whatever flowers that they got tonight, not only on this show here, but even in the chats. Really awesome to see the community that they're building. And the kids, man, can't take away from the kids. It's amazing. And it's all about the kids. MJ loves the kids, man. Really love this hobby. And yeah, dude, you guys are all awesome, man. There's so many amazing things about the hobby. Animals obviously are the purpose, but the people are everything, man. Without the people, none of this could come full circle. So again, amazing episode tonight. If this was your first time watching, before you leave, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, select all. You'll be reminded of every single podcast release out of the network 7 days a week. Just to remind you guys, the only Reptile Network giving you a new episode every day of the week, Monday through Sunday. Okay. Again, check out all my sponsors in the description below. And have a good night. I'll catch you here for Monday on New Breed on the Block, the new recap. And yeah, Peace. One of the biggest growths we have in the reptile industry today are the rare species of reptiles that aren't worked with. That's right. That's why I went ahead and partnered up again with Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. Brian works with species such as kahua geckos, gargoyle geckos, all species of tree monitors. He works with abronia and many other cool species geckos that you can check out all on his website. Head over to sundownreptiles.com, see what he has available. Brian's one of the best doing it in the reptile industry today. He's been on the show multiple times, so make sure you check out all of Brian Susan's episodes on Trap Talk Reptile Network. But more importantly, for the highest quality of captive bred reptiles, make sure you head over to sundownreptiles.com and make sure you give him a follow on Instagram. Thank you again, Brian Susan over at SUNDOWN Reptiles. One of the things I love about being a part of the reptile industry is all the learning, okay? Learning can be fun, and I can prove that to you. Thank you so much to today's sponsor, Gary Scavino over at GS Reptiles. I highly recommend you head over to his YouTube channel, follow all this man's content when it comes to learning about rare species of snakes you could be keeping in the hobby, and also just finding out how easy a lot of these rare species of snakes are to keep in general. So thank you so much, Gary Scavino of GS Reptiles. Again, head over to his YouTube channel. Also head over to his Instagram to be on top of all of his current work and be ready for a big year over at GS Reptiles. Thank you so much, Gary, for your ongoing support. I really appreciate it.